Hi, everyone. It's your boy Zach, and it happened again. This isn't even like the 50th or 100th time this has happened in my life. I've watched a movie, or I've read a comic, or I watched a TV show specifically to roast it. Specifically because I thought it was horrible and I was going to have fun. I love this movie. I'm not going to say I loved all of it. I would say I loved about 95% of it. So I watched Critical Drinker and he just absolutely tore this to pieces. Now, here's the deal. If you're going to say it's a terrible movie and you watched it and you thought it was terrible, I can't argue with that because I know why you said it. Because if I hadn't have watched The Critical Drinker, I might have also hated it. The thing is that The Critical Drinker, by focusing on the flaws in mainly like the first 10 minutes, like almost all of his review is like the first 10 minutes, because I've done this a million times too. Something has really bothered me in the first 10 minutes, and I'm just mentally checked out for the rest. I'm like, oh, so stupid. So the stupid things are all the things mentioned in the, well, not all the things, but specifically the stuff about the beginning. The character being smug, easily getting into the Men in Black program in the most ridiculous way imaginable. I got nothing to say about that. Like, that stuff is awful. It makes no sense. So this young girl has an interaction with an alien. Her parents see the alien. They get neuralized. The Men in Black somehow do not see a little girl on the second floor of this common, American house staring out at them, and they just drive away, to which the girl becomes obsessed with not aliens, really. Okay, so Men in Black deal with aliens, but she's just obsessed with getting into that organization. An organization that she's not even sure exists. She thinks it's a part of other organizations. So she grows up and she's super fit and super smart and a 100% narcissist, and she starts going through the extremely difficult years-long processes of getting into the FBI, the CIA, and we can assume probably a couple other things as well. And she gets all the way until getting hired, like literally getting the offer. And she just goes, yeah, I want to be in the Men in Black. And they're like, what is that? She's like, I want to be in the, well, she says like the secret organization. And they're just like, okay, do you want to be in the CIA or not? Like, you passed the test, you're in. So then, because she's a genius who can get rocketed to the head of like the CIA, entrance exams, she ends up working in tech support. But in this giant, bay filled with like 300 people on tech support at the same time, she's also hacking, I don't know, NASA, NORAD, and track. Okay, the whole first 10 minutes is stupid as hell. It is awful. But if you somehow do not have your entire day ruined by how awful the first 10 minutes of, then it turns into a fairly good movie. So one of the things that shocked me, is she gets in, she's a probationary agent, she sees Chris Hemsworth. He's the King Dingling. He's the cool guy. He's Duke from G.I. Joe in the animated series in the 80s. And she likes him because he's handsome, and then she wants to talk to him and get to know him better. And for a movie that came out in 2019, I was like, what's going on here? Wait, the black woman is not a lesbian in this movie? Wait a minute. The woman is interested in a guy? Wait a minute. 90% of their interactions are not her insulting him? What's going on? And I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. And no, she liked him because he seemed like a nice, charming, handsome guy. And that was it. So they get into an adventure. There's a mole in the MIB London office. I've got to say, I never really liked this franchise. I wouldn't say I hated it, but I saw the first one. I think everyone saw the first one, like everyone. And I was like, it's a Will Smith popcorn movie. I mean, it's basically every Will Smith popcorn movie exists in the same universe. Independence Day, Wild Wild West, freaking Bad Boys. Like, he played the same character in everything, and everything was kind of melded into his sense of humor. So it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Do you remember the Will Smith movie where he was like a funny ninja? Yeah, it doesn't exist, but the movie you just imagine in your head is exactly how it would have been done. It would have been done just like all the other movies. So I never really cared about Men in Black because it was just a Will Smith vehicle like every other popcorn movie he was in. And when you take you take Will Smith out of Men in Black, it's a pretty solid like franchise. Like it's fun, you know. It's aliens are on Earth. They have to be disguised, and the Men in Black deal with aggressive aliens, but then they help out the ones who just kind of want to blend in and chill. There was an interesting aspect in this one. I think I've seen all the Men in Black movies, but the second two just completely fell out of my brain. But I don't remember this aspect where basically the Men in Black are also kind of like ambassadors, and they have to do stuff like they just straight up don't want to do because this, the Zendarian Empire could destroy Earth. So at one point you see Chris Hemsworth's character H sleeps with some alien woman. He's obviously not into it, but they basically say, yeah, these people can just blow us out of the sky. And then the later, oh god, I forgot what the girl's code name was, but she's like, "Are you pimping me out?" And he's like, "No," but he is, because that's like one aspect. You just have to do whatever you can to appease these people so they're on their side. So there's a mole in the organization and they have to track it down. There's these two twins who have this awesome power. Like, I looked this up. It wasn't low budget, but it was lower budget than the other movies. It was also, there's a formula for what constitutes profit. And the basic formula, although this, it varies, is that you need to make 2.5 times your budget to be profitable. They literally did that exactly. I think it was considered to be a dud. I think they were, $250 million worldwide. It got horrible reviews. And they are, besides the first 10 minutes, not deserved. It's actually a fun, quick-paced movie. It's actually got a little bit of feels, as they say. There's a really interesting twist that I'm not going to give away. But at one point, you're kind of like, why did Chris Hemsworth take this, besides the money, to just play like a one-note goofball cool guy? And it's because he's not just playing a one-note goofball cool guy. There's actually some depth to it, and there's some twist to it. And there's, I gotta say, one thing that was really strange was how they shoot the Eiffel Tower. Yes, I know there's a park. There's a park and you got the river. They shoot it like it's like in the countryside. Like all of the buildings around it and the river and the buildings across the river, like they don't. Now, the reality is they probably shot those ground scenes somewhere else and then they just, spliced in a 3D model of the Eiffel Tower. But it's just weird. It's like, has anyone been to Paris? Like, there's all of these, multi-story buildings around the base of it. It's just weird to just see it like just surrounded by trees. Yes, I know there are some vantage points where you could take a picture and just have, trees in the Eiffel Tower, but to have every single shot be like that was strange. So Chris Hemsworth was cool. Tessa Thompson was good. Now, Tessa Thompson, like I said, they do a typical annoying thing. She's so smart. And, like, she just, like, her character is a narcissist. She's just like, it's about me being in there. And I'm a woman. And, like, nobody cares. Like, there's already women in this organization. Like, so what? Why are you being weird about it? And she does kind of, get stuff too quickly. But then once the adventure rolls around, like she's like a real character and there's a real partnership, friendship, affection, attraction between the two of them. And she was good. I know I'm supposed to say, oh, no, SJW. Not really. Like it was just kind of like solid. And I think it's because the director is F. Gary Gray, who he's been around forever. So he's going to be like, okay, this needs to be an actual character. Like she needs to, grow and change and learn and things like that. And she does. There's fun gadgets. The twins who are like the antagonists, they have this awesome power where they can impersonate someone, but also they can like affect like like they can touch the ground and cause it to the concrete to go into a tidal wave, and it's just that looks great and it's really cool and it's interesting. There's a cool fight with them where they have their little coupe de ville or whatever it is, and Chris Hemsworth will be like rearview mirror, and then she like grabs it and like pulls it and it rotates out and there's all these cool weapons. He's like exhaust, and then she pulls that out. It's like a rocket launcher. I was like, all right, I'm in. Like, this is cool and fun. Besides the first 10 minutes, it's just a good. I laughed. You got what am I saying? Kumail Nanjiani. He plays this little guy called Pawnee. It's kind of hard to explain. There are these aliens who dress up like chess pieces. Kumail Nanjiani, he can be a little much to take. He's still real funny in movies and TV, but like online and like in interviews, he's so woke. It's really annoying. But he's just funny here. So they come in and they've already met these characters, but they go back. Everyone's dead except for him, and they're like, "What's going on?" He goes, "Oh, it was great. Kanye came over. He dropped like a whole album." He's like, "What do you think happened?" I actually laughed really hard at that. And he has a couple of funny jokes. The character actually works. I thought he was going to be annoying as hell. He kind of like becomes like he needs a queen, so he uses Tessa Thompson as his queen. And it works. It's funny. There's a cool flying motorcycle. There's a cool flying car. There's a cool super weapon. I freaking loved it. There's just a couple little things of like Tessa Thompson just like smirking because she's doing something that hundreds of male MIB agents have done before. Hundreds of female agents. We see that the top ranking person we meet is female. You're like, at least in the New York office, and then you're like, okay. It's like joining the National Guard and being in boot camp, and they're like, here's an M16, you're gonna shoot it, and she's like, I crushed it. Like, no, you did something that like tons of other people have done. But yeah, they have good chemistry. It is a little weird in the shots with her being like 2 feet shorter than him. Like all the shots have to be pulled really far back to fit both of them in screen. But it was good. I liked it. Do I want to see another one? Well, there's not going to be another one. I'm fine. I don't think there's that much depth to the Men in Black franchise. But like I said, besides a disastrous first 10 minutes, I had a ball. And the people in it seemed to be having fun. I read all these interviews that it was a miserable shoot and they kept changing everything. It looks like they're having fun. And it's not just the leads who are making good money. Like, everyone... There's a funny part where this guy, he has this beard, but the beard is like a disguise for this alien. And then when you take off the fake beard, he's got like a super weak chin. I don't know, I laughed. It was funny. It was like a funny little visual joke. But yeah, it's a recommend. It's definitely a recommend. I don't know, like make popcorn, fold, do something in the first 10 minutes. Tessa Thompson gets into the MIB and she's a probationary agent. Like just skip the first 10 minutes. It's gonna annoy you. So anyway, thanks for watching. And what am I watching? I just started watching something else, but I finally finished Aliens. That used to be always the one. Oh, I'm going to finish Aliens one of these months. I started something, but I forget what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.